So basically when George and I wanted to get into music and stuff, our mom was like, okay, I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to teach you how to write a song. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she really sat us down and we wrote a couple songs with her, and we kind of learned, because the thing is, she's like her, it's not just about writing a song. Like, she's trying to teach us how to write a hit.
How are you both?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Adam, and this is about the two of you and your journey in music. And we'll talk about the new song and everything you have coming out shortly.
Oh,
Okay,
wonderful.
great. Sounds good.
Sweet. So obviously, sisters. You guys were what? Born and raised in LA?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay.
were.
I'm from San Diego originally. I live in Nashville now, but
Oh, cool.
I was in San Diego for most of my life. So I'm just curious, like, what part of LA? What was it like growing up in LA?
We grew up in like the Valley. So
Okay.
we went to school in Van Nuys, and we loved it. Like, I love people who were like born and raised in LA, and those have
Not
always
many people from Southern California that are there, right?
Yeah.
No, it's always like funny, like to meet someone else that's like born and raised. It's like little gems.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in San Diego, there was not many people that were born and raised there. It was all transplants. So I feel
Yeah.
like a transplant now that I'm in Nashville. They're like, "Oh, you're from California?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So do you guys come from a musical household at all? Like, is that a thing in your house?
Yeah, we do. Our parents actually were both in the music business, and they had this team called the Matrix, and they just like produced and did songwriting and stuff. And so we grew up around a lot of music
Yeah.
all our life, and we kind of resented doing the whole music thing because our parents
Yeah.
were so good.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, like that's not for us. Like, I was going to like makeup school, and Sophie was in
I went to
art.
art school.
Yeah.
And we were both just like, anything but what our parents are doing.
And
Right.
then-
It's funny how that is. Like, you just want to be rebellious to what your family is already doing.
Yeah.
And then it turns out we just like started doing this, and it's like working out a bit. So we're like, okay, I guess.
Guess you got to run with it.
Yeah.
So your parents, you said, were songwriters and producers, or are songwriters and producers. So were you around like the studio most of your life? Like, do you remember
Yeah.
being young and kind of?
We like grew up in the studio. Like, I remember just like every single day after school, we'd be taken to our parents' studio, where we just like hang out there and just like watch movies and stuff in the back room while they're making
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
So
they had great snacks there, and
oh yeah.
there's like Katy Perry was like at our house a lot, like
Wow.
doing sessions with her. I remember her like playing dead in our pool, like at a party once, like trying to freak everyone out. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's been an interesting childhood.
Yeah, that must be pretty cool though, to be surrounded by Katy Perry, like stars at that level, and kind of watching them work.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was before she like blew up with like I Kissed a Girl and all of that
Mhm.
stuff. So like we thought like she was like our nanny or something.
She was doing what? Like, she had like a Christian
Like,
record, I think, right?
yeah.
She wasn't even Katy Perry at that point. I
No,
think.
she was just like
No.
our best friend, and we were like,
Yeah.
like we just thought she was like the cool lady that would come around and like sing a few songs. So she was really fun.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Like, being there, was it something like you'd go, to your parents' studio or whatever after school? Was it like, we got to hang out here? They have good snacks, but it's just kind of something that you weren't too stoked on or too interested in going in the control room and checking out what they were doing? Or
It's so funny because it's like, if I look back at it, I'm just like, oh my God, when can I go home? And it's just like, I was so like, just a child then.
Yeah.
And like, we would just keep ourselves amused with like all the little knickknacks they had in there. Like, they had like, like rattlesnakes and like bottles and stuff. And we would just like play with that stuff and like wait for it to be over. But like,
Yeah.
looking back, why weren't we paying attention, Jim?
No, we just were not interested whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think that's like pretty typical though. Like, you're like, it's like more of a chore that you have to be there, and you can't just be home or whatever doing what you want with your friends or whatever you want to do after school. You're like, I gotta be stuck here at the studio all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about an instrument? Was that something that your parents wanted you to pursue, or are they pretty hands off as far as like pushing you towards music?
Well, honestly, I think my parents, like, they didn't really push us into music because, like, they're like, the music industry is a really tough place. Like it's a,
Mhm.
and they really made that clear to us. And so they never tried to push us into it. So I think that's kind of why we went off and did our own things.
Yeah.
But, you know, my dad, he played guitar and bass and he's really talented, but he never like pushed me to play guitar. So I kind of learned on my own. And it's just, it was kind of just natural.
Yeah, I think like the music stuff just naturally came to us. Like right when I got into high school, I was like, I guess I'll be in the vocal academy and start singing. But like our parents never forced us to do anything like,
Yeah.
so it just happened naturally, the whole music thing.
Yeah.
Were they like encouraging once they realized, oh wow, they're obviously very talented, so I'm sure that kind of spilled off onto you guys a bit as far as like genetics go or whatever. Like, were they, when you would sing and stuff, were like, whoa, you guys, the both of you are really good, you should keep
Yeah.
doing this type
I
deal?
think, they were both very encouraging. A tough audience, though, I will say. Like they were not afraid to tell us the truth, and so like we really
Yeah.
would practice like everything before we would show them, because we were like, we know they're gonna like
Yeah, they don't
say-
sugarcoat.
Oh,
yeah.
they're just gonna rip it up.
Yeah. When we were younger, like, yeah, it was cute and everything. But like when we got into the teen years, like we either show them something because it's really damn good or we don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. And well, being sisters, is that something that is helpful in your creative process? Like being able to say, Sophie, this isn't like, this sucks, or you know what I mean? Like not having to really walk on eggshells when it comes to hurting each other's feelings.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that helps so much. Like there's so many like ideas that we've just been like, just like toss that out, because like I'll bring it to George. I'll be like, hey, like, what do you think of this? And she'll just be like, no. So
Oh yeah, I'll be like, that's really cheesy.
like
let's
that's
throw
just,
that
it's
away.
just not good. And like, I'll do the same to her, but it's like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we only walk away with things that like we both genuinely like, because we're so
Yeah.
brutal.
There's no wasting time here.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I imagine that could be quite helpful, especially if you were in a setting with a friend or something and you're like, this really isn't good, but how do I express to them without destroying their feelings that
yeah.
we shouldn't work any further on this? Whereas if you're sisters, you're like, well, we're going to love each other no matter what. So, yeah, this isn't good or whatever it may
Yeah,
be.
definitely. Like when we like write with people or produce, like Sophie and I will say something like kind of awful to each other. We're like, don't worry, we're sisters. It's
Yeah.
okay to say that. Like, we're not terrible people.
Right. Did you get along? You're close in age, right? A couple of years.
Yeah. I'm 22, she's 21, so like 19 months apart, really.
Oh,
That's-
wow. And did
yeah.
you get along growing up?
Yeah, I mean, for like a little bit of time, I was just on a different like playing field than her. And then I got a car and she was like, hey, like, you want to be best friends?
You want to like drive me around,
I
man?
need some rides.
Yeah. And then we got really close.
Yeah.
Okay. And I did read that you both were in choir. You did to a pretty big extent where you did like Carnegie Hall and stuff like that. So like, was that done in high school? Like when did you start
Yeah.
choir, chorus, or did you start together?
Well, Georgia was in choir and I was in like, the music classes for like guitar and piano and stuff like that. And then they got invited to go to Carnegie Hall and they'd done a competition, got invited. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm going with. So I was like, I went and auditioned for choir and I got in. And so then George and I ended up being in the class together and being able to go together. And like, we ended up like, that's also like how we realized that we were really close, is when we went there, we really hung out together. Like,
yeah,
with
like
all
I
of our
didn't want to,
friends.
because I'm bad with travel. And so I was like, I need my sister.
And I was
with
like, I
me.
need my sister. And so
But yeah, it was a really cool experience going there and singing in Carnegie Hall. It's just such a crazy place to be in. I was really freaking out.
I seriously panicked. Like
Yeah.
one of the biggest performances ever. And like, I feel like now when I perform, like I don't get that nervous anymore, but it was like that one.
Yeah, she had that
Whoa.
one big panic attack there. And then
Yeah.
now she's chill for the
Yeah.
rest of her life.
That's funny. Were you stoked on the fact that your sister was joining the choir and chorus with you, Georgia, or no? Because I could see you be like, God, now my kid's sister's gonna join this, and like this
Yeah,
is
I
my
was
thing.
still
or-
kind of your kid.
Yeah,
sister.
you at the time you were my kid's like little sister, and I was just like, oh boy, like she's gonna bother me and everything. But then actually, I think it was that trip. I was like, my friends are like, I need to be with my family right now. And I hung out with all of her friends and everything. And I was like, okay. And like, I'm closer with her friends now from high school than my old friends from high school. So I think that's like what really bonded, like,
Yeah.
on that trip. I just really needed family and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing that that was able to be kind of the bonding thing for the both of you, especially since it was like, you know, oh, she's going to Carnegie Hall. I want to do that. And instead of Georgia being like, oh my, you know, really, you're going to do what I'm doing? I don't know. Sometimes there's that dynamic with siblings, obviously.
I am a copycat. I always always trying to be like my big sis.
That's just naturally happens, like, but you do your own thing. You know?
Okay, so from that moment, was it just something that you both enjoyed doing? Like, where Sophie or you or Georgia, either was music something that you were writing at any point at this time, or was it just we're at this school and we're doing choir and we got this opportunity to go to Carnegie Hall?
Well, I felt like, for me at least, it was like a school thing.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I was doing art. Like, I was really heavily into like drawing and painting. And then
cool.
I went to art school for it.
Yeah. And I went to makeup school. And then I think really when the pandemic happened, like, she did online school and that was not good. That was really bad for her. And
I bet, how do you, especially with art, you're like, okay, let me take a picture of my painting and
oh my God. And like, we'd have to paint, like, you know, there'd be like a model, you know, who's actually like on Zoom. And it's just like the same, right?
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And then
makeup too, that would be difficult. Obviously,
I
you're like,
I was like, well, I'm not going to be like this close to someone's face like for 6 months to a year. And then and we kind of just started focusing. We would like just sing along for fun. And then we went into our garage one time and it's like a huge echoey place. And we just like played, what did we play? I don't know. I think it was like California Dreaming or something.
Yeah.
And we recorded just for fun. And I sent it to my mom and she played it to one of her music friends. And they're like, hey, there's like something here. And we were just like, oh, like someone is interested in us in the music business. And we were like, maybe like we keep doing covers and maybe write a song. And
yeah, it was just really organic, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was during the pandemic when you both decided to do that?
Yeah, we were like, you know, I bet everyone was losing their mind a little bit during the pandemic. And when we were losing our minds, I'm not even kidding. I was in the top 0.001% of people listening to the Eagles. Like, I was like, I was listening to the Eagles like all day, 24/7. And George and I were just like listening to it in the car and just like, you know, the harmonies are very beautiful. And
I think that's where I learned to like do harmonies a lot and just like because like we went on way too many car rides, like the gas was through the roof.
Yeah. But what else was there to do? They wouldn't let you outside. It was like, okay, well, I guess I can go in my car and see things because I'm
totally. And like
isolated or whatever.
For like hours like through the canyon. We'd maybe go through like Mulholland like
over
5 times and like sing like all these songs and like we know them by heart now. And I think that's when we like really like honed like our singing together and we're like maybe we try this out.
Okay. So, Sophie, what was the draw to the Eagles? Was it just something that were they a band that you just liked?
I had a friend who I was really close with and she loved the Eagles. And I just like, I remember, you know, I think probably like the most free time of my life was like when I felt the most free was when I was hanging out with her and she was just driving and playing the Eagles. And it's just like when you feel stuck inside, you want to like, you know, I wanted to feel like that free feeling. And the Eagles were that for me. And they were like totally, oh, I love the Eagles. I literally listen to it so much that I've had to take a break.
Yeah.
Like
we're waiting till summer hits and then we're gonna get back.
We'll be right back.
Then that's the time for the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, so before the pandemic happened, were either of you writing music at all, or this just kind of happened where we can sing well together? We sent this tape to, or this recording to our mom, and then she sent it to someone that kind of gave us this validation that this is a thing, we should kind of nourish this? Or like
Well,
before that, were you either of you kind of interested in pursuing this at all?
I would say actually, so we wrote this song called Auburn, and it was about like our sisterhood, and like it was the first song we ever wrote together. And my friend invited me to this terrible bar. Like it was a real dive bar, and they had an open mic night there. And I was like, Sophie, just come with me and we'll hang out. Like maybe we'll sing up there, maybe we won't. And we put our name down and everything. And we were the last people to be put up there because we came in so late, and we were like, oh, okay, like, are we really gonna stay till 10? And we did, and we were so nervous. Like there was only like maybe 10 people or 15
So
people in
stupid.
the place, and we were so nervous. And then we sang that song, and the whole place like went quiet and really listened to us. And after that, like everyone came up to us and they were like, you really got something. And we were like, oh wow, like that was really nice performing, like, and like
yeah,
we
and then
really
we
felt
just didn't quit after that. Like
Yeah.
after we did that performance, like we kind of became like, like, oh God, I
Like, we
love getting
really
in front of
craved it,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the bug then.
yeah.
Interesting. So that song you don't have out, right? At least I didn't see it.
Not yet, no. And then we went on
Okay.
we went on a trip with our dad, and we had the song Alice, I'm Not Like Alice. And we just really started, like, we hadn't released that yet, and we really started playing it like together and just like really making the song like feel like comfortable with our voices and everything. And my mom sent it to Lenny Beer, this guy named Lenny Beer, who's our manager now, and he was like, that is the song that's gonna like really help them. And he was right, and we were like, what the hell, like we didn't put it out, we
Like,
were like,
how did he know?
yeah, we were like,
Yeah,
no, we don't want to
good at
release
his job.
that. Yeah, and
Yeah, like
he
we have
was like,
so many songs, and it's like it's hard to tell like what's the song that's gonna pop off, And it's just like people, like, he's been in the music industry so long, like I think it's like he's got that thing where he just like he knows.
yeah.
With like a song, I mean, even the one that you just mentioned, Not Like Alice, is that hard to present to your mom and being like, like lyrically and everything, like kind of the concept of the song, you're like, here, mom, and but maybe because they're musicians and they see this stuff all the time, or
Yeah, I mean, our mom has written some crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And so she really gets, like, there's no like embarrassment here. Like we really tell our mom everything. She's
Yeah.
kind of,
Awesome.
she's like manager slash best friend slash mom. And so we
Yeah.
can show her anything and she'll be like chill. She's like, make it like crazier, make it sexier. And we're like,
oh,
okay.
cool.
So
Yeah, instead of having kind of like a reserved, like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I could show this to her, it's more, yeah, she's down to really
Oh
help
yeah,
and hear it. That's
she's
awesome.
down for for all of it.
When you like, what was do you remember, was Auburn the first? I think you said it's Auburn. Was that the first song that you presented to your mom and were like, hey, we wrote this song together? Do you remember what song that was?
It was kind of like, so basically when George and I wanted to get into music and stuff, our mom was like, okay, I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to teach you how to write a song. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she really sat us down and we wrote a couple songs with her, and we kind of learned, because the thing is, she's like her, it's not just about writing a song. Like she's trying to teach us how to write a hit, and like she really gave us some lessons. And then Auburn was the first song that George and I wrote completely alone. And we sent that to her and we're like, hey, like, what do you think of this? Like, and she loved it. And it was like
a big like accomplishment.
yes, it
Oh,
was
I
like,
bet.
I think we
Yeah.
can do this. Like,
Because
yeah.
it sounds like she will give you the most direct. She's obviously successful in this industry, and to send it to her knowing that she'll tell you if she likes it or not, but to get her to validate it, that must have been a big moment for you.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
definitely.
So with obviously you have they call out and say, this Alice is going to be a huge hit, and you put it up on TikTok and it just does these insane numbers. Like prior to that, you had a couple other songs out. Was it Did that really change everything once the TikTok video happened, or like, kind of
Yeah,
tell
it
me about
changed
that
our
moment?
lives.
I mean, yeah, TikTok, like the followers are like so great on there, and like they're really just like they
Supportive.
really support you. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow, like I just feel like weird, like that, like someone would support us so much,
Like
but
someone cares about us.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. Like, and it kind of like overnight it happened, and we were just like, whoa, like what do we do here? Like, but luckily we had like a team of managers and everything supporting us as well, and my mom in the industry, and like so we felt pretty stable like through it all. And then we got signed to Warner's.
Yeah, that's
The
huge.
rights. Yeah, and that was a really amazing experience, like going in there and performing for everyone. And it was just like it felt like a movie. It still feels like a movie. I'm like,
Yeah, we're
what's
still
going
on
on?
the
Like, why are we being interviewed right now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the TikTok of you showing, the one that went viral, and it's really funny because you can totally, it's so authentic. He's listening, and then like where he says, you said talk about fucking, and he's just like, and then it's like you drop her name, and he just like totally freaks out.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh, like, oh wow. And that's the thing about TikTok I find so fascinating is like those authentic moments and those videos are the ones that really, bubble to the top. It's if you go in there and just try really hard to be like, I'm gonna be the copy this person and try to write the most, pop hit thing, and never I feel like those don't work very well.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I think people can really see through like everything, and I think TikTok has really like weeded out like a lot of like fakes and given a lot of people like opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think
Yeah.
we were just like so grateful that like we had a little blow up on there.
Yeah. I feel grateful that the music industry, like at least for us, is the way it is right now. Cause like,
Mm-hmm.
when my mom was younger, like it was completely different. Like in order to get signed, it was like really, I guess it was like easier in some ways, but difficult in others. And now it's like everyone's kind of got a shot if you've got a good song.
Yeah, there's like a level playing field, especially with
Yeah.
TikTok now, because if it makes them on there and people care, then the algorithm is going to keep feeding it to other people.
Yeah.
And if it's not a good one, then that is what it is. But also then the record labels can see that and be like, oh wow, this person's obviously people care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's really cool to see that. But like you said, everyone has kind of an even level playing field. So when you put that song out and it's doing like these wild numbers, like what was that moment like? I always other people I've talked to about having these moments, it's like I feel like it'd be, hitting like a slot machine and it's just like jackpot, and then you're just like constantly just like checking it or pulling it. Like when
Yeah.
did you see it start going really nuts? Was it right away?
It was right away. It started popping off, and
Yeah.
George and I literally just swiped out of the app, and we were like,
So we were like, turn off our phones
turn
right
off our
now. We
phones,
don't
like-
want anything to happen.
we don't like, we're gonna ruin it by like,
Looking at
just
it.
looking at it. And so we got off of our phones and we just let it do its thing. And then we looked at it, like late that night, and we were just like, holy shit. Like
Actually,
it's
our mom would look at it more than us. We were like, we were scared we were gonna jinx something, so we were just like
yeah.
letting it breathe.
Oh my God. And our mom is so funny. She had her phone out and she was literally playing the video and just like had it like sitting down and like so it wouldn't turn off automatically. And she's like, I'm like, what was she, like 1,000 of those views?
Oh,
Like
God.
it's crazy.
Yeah, she was really excited for us.
Yeah.
That's funny. But Sue, you knew right when you threw it up, you're like, hopefully this is going to do something important.
I
Like it
mean,
sounds like you knew it was going to be a thing.
We actually no, I don't
Mm.
think we knew. Like I was like this is like a pretty vulnerable thing to throw up. And
Oh
then
yeah.
and then like an hour later, like I was like, Sophie, it's blowing up. Turn your phone off, like because
Oh, okay.
that's how it went down.
Yeah.
And we just like let it breathe. And then we started looking at the comments and we are just like, oh Jesus, like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't even imagine what that'd be like. And then it's like you said immediately. I mean, not immediately, but it's like you go from trying to now 7 million people have seen the snippet of this song, and
Yeah.
millions of people have streamed it on Spotify, which is another task, right? You could write a song makes it on TikTok or is like this trending sound, but then to get the person to leave that app to jump onto another app to then listen to your song and do it that way as well. It's a whole nother leap.
I know,
Yeah.
like they were going on Instagram and everything, and like we just like it was just such a strange moment for us, like because like it takes like so much for someone to care about like your music, like and
Yeah.
like I don't know, it just worked. It was crazy.
And you haven't, well, the new one out is Beach Zombies, but I want to talk to you about real quick just the whole Warner thing. I mean, that's such a massive accomplishment. Was that something that, you know, was it in the works around that time that Not Like Alice happened, and then obviously now you've announced it and you have the new single out?
Yeah, I mean, it was like scary.
I bet.
I mean, it was really scary. It
I
was
mean, it was
like
also very exciting.
no, scary, exciting. It was a lot of emotions. And basically it was like we got invited to come and just perform in front of everyone at Warner. Like every person there. And so they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to set you up in a room and you can come play for us and like you get to talk to everyone." You know. And we were like, "Okay, you know,
That's
wonderful."
giving me a panic attack right now thinking about that.
Yeah, it was
And-
really it was
I mean, we put our big girl pants on and we went in there and we, you know, we performed in front of everyone.
Whoa. So sorry.
We
Good.
performed in front of everyone and then we just like talked to everyone and it was just so easy and like
Yeah.
everyone there is so nice, so wonderful, so kind. Like, and I think they really care about us.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like a family. And also we knew some people like when we were younger who like work there now, and we're just like we kind of like knew people there, and so
Yeah.
it felt like family.
Yeah, it was really weird because we wrote this song called Sending Light, which is out, and it was about my best friend Lucas who passed away. And
Yeah, I did see that.
yeah, and basically his mother's best friend works at Warner Brothers. Her name is
Oh.
Susan, and like and so it just felt like really right, like just being there, and like people who worked at Warner Brothers knew about Lucas already and his story of like everything. And so like I would like go into meetings and they're like, "Oh yeah, so like you're the girl who's friends with Lucas." And I was just like, how do these people know this? Like it just was like so like natural, like the people already knew our story, like we didn't have to explain it and like go over all of that again. And it was just a really nice experience, like getting signed there.
Yeah.
Right. Was that a difficult I would imagine that had to be a really difficult song to write.
Yeah, and the recording process, like it was just like it was a painful time, like trying to sing the lyrics over and over again to get it right. I was just like, damn, like I want this to be over. Like, why am I singing a song about my friend? Like, you know, it was a hard time, but it's one of my favorite songs that
It's one of
is
my
out,
favorite songs
and
too.
I think it meant a lot to the family and like people who listen to it and gone through grieving. I think it's like
Mhm.
a good song for them to hear.
100%. Was
Yeah.
it pretty, would you feel like it was therapeutic at all to get it out on, paper
I
and
would
now on a
say
song?
it made me feel like I was doing something for him. And so it felt good to just like keep working on something, and it was like I was just sending something to him, like some energy or something. But it was, I guess you could say it was therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love what you guys are doing with the live stuff too. I've seen you do a couple songs like I think they're on YouTube. You're like in a backyard playing. You have somebody else playing guitar with you, but
Yeah.
like that's an incredible video, and the video for Beach Zombies as well. Tell me about, at least just I want to hear about Beach Zombies because we haven't talked about that song, and that's the newest one you guys just put out.
Yeah, that song is basically about like being in LA. I mean, I guess anywhere, like, and just like hanging around like fake people that you know are not good for you, but you're kind of having fun. You're kind of vibing with them.
There's something like intoxicating about it.
Yeah.
And so it's about kind of like giving into that feeling and giving
Just-
into those people, even though you know it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a song that you had wrote a while back, or was that a pretty fresh song?
You know, it's really funny. I was just looking back at our TikToks and there's literally a video of like where I was like, oh, like, us writing a song together, and it was us just starting to play that song. And so it's like that's like also the great thing about TikTok is that like, I can like look back and they're like literally
It's
like
a
little memories.
log. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little timestamp. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
but that was like kind of recent. Like we wrote that a few months ago. It was definitely after the Alice blow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we wrote that, and it's just like really fun to sing that song. Like it's kind of like a more upbeat, like
it definitely has a little bit more bounce to it for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like whenever we sing it live, like we just feel like we're having the best time singing that song.
Yeah.
The video, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun too. You're just like on the beach with the candles and like running around with the flower, or I don't think they're flowers. There's petals.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm so bad with plants.
Like pitch black outside, and we had like this big light that our friend was recording, and he like had this big light on us, and I just couldn't see a damn thing, and I just rammed right into him and knocked Georgia and him over flat on their asses.
And there was people on the beach, and they're like, "What the hell are these people doing?" Like running around the flowers. So
yeah, I mean, it was like a fun process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely pitch black. So you just had a spotlight on you guys while you're running around, and it was just
we
as much
basically
footage as we can.
We got like a flashlight from Lowe's, and we just used that, and then it was like after Valentine's Day, so there was a bunch of like leftover flowers, like discount flowers, and we just bought everything in the store and went to the beach.
Yeah,
that was it, really.
That's awesome. I think I read something, or I saw something you guys talking about how last year is when you started really to play a lot more live shows, right?
Yeah.
And with signing to Warner and putting out Beach Zombie, are you guys working on like a project that's going to come out, and are you playing these songs currently, or like what's going on with you guys right now?
Well, so basically we're planning on putting out an EP later this year, which we're very excited about. And we've got a lot of songs. It's kind of about like, okay, which ones do we want to put on the EP? Like we've got to figure that out. But we're also going to London in May, and we're doing 2 shows opening for Manchester Orchestra.
Oh, no way. That's huge. I love Manchester Orchestra. That band's amazing.
Me too. I mean,
we're so excited.
I'm so thrilled. And then we also have another show that we're doing, just the 2 of us, at the Grace in London. So
wow.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that. We're gonna be there like for 2.5 weeks, but the Manchester Orchestra one is like really big for us.
Yeah, and it's like sold out, so we're so excited.
Oh, that's gonna be huge. That's amazing. I love that. I mean, Manchester Orchestra is such a band that has really done, like they have longevity, but like you hear the earlier songs and they're really like heavy and fast, and then it kind of they just evolved like so much as a band. But that's such a cool lineup to be on.
Oh yeah, we feel so lucky.
Yeah,
really.
Do you remember getting the call like, "Hey, you're going to open up for Manchester Orchestra"?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just happened recently, so we're like still like, holy shit,
buzzing from it.
Like, 2 weeks ago or something. Like this is like fresh. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So EP possibly coming up. Do you utilize your parents' studio at all for any of these songs that you've put out, or no?
We've got a studio at our mom's house, and it's just like, it's just like in my old bedroom, and we go there with our producer that we mainly see, and he comes, and our mom will like, make us some avocado on toast, and we're just like, in the bedroom, just like, making music.
You don't really like need like the big studios anymore. I don't.
Right.
It all just happens in the room, and it's so much more comfortable that way.
It's so
I was gonna say, being in your own house, that's got to be a lot more. Yeah, you're familiar there. It's not like, okay, I got to go take myself to this big studio and do. It's just a lot more low key, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no,
For sure.
It's great. We like, there's a bed in there, and we just like, when Sophie's singing her parts, I take a little nap, and then
and our cat literally has been a part of this whole album. Our cat has literally been in the room the entire time, just like, vibing out to the music. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Are you still, Sophie? Are you still doing art, like painting and drawing and stuff like that, or not as much?
I mean, not as much, honestly, because like my mind is so fixated. When it gets fixated on something, it's like all the way. Like, and I'm always writing songs, like just constantly writing. And so, I was drawing last night. Like I'll like occasionally do doodles and stuff like that, but I don't really do it like seriously anymore. I'm too fixated on the music now.
for the Sending Light. Oh, did you
Sorry, you froze it for a second.
Oh, I was saying, I was wondering if you did the cover for Sending Light, the image on the artwork.
Actually, Lucas did that.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and he's an amazing artist, and we wanted to like put his artwork on there. So yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a really cool like clown, sad
it's
clown
actually like
photo.
a self-portrait of him, and he made himself into a clown.
Yeah, and
And he's got like a Santa hat on.
Yeah. So
I love that.
no,
That's cool.
great art.
Very, very cool. Well, I appreciate the both of you taking time to chat with me today. Thank you so much.
I appreciate
Thank
you
This has
caring to
been-
ask us these questions.
Oh, this is great. I love you guys. And I want to see if you have any advice for aspiring artists. That's my last question.
I would say don't be scared to put your stuff out there, and like don't be scared to like just like, because I think everyone's like insecure a little bit about putting their stuff on social media, and I would just say really just do it and don't give it
Yeah.
shit about it, like, you know.
You can cuss.
Oh, great. Don't give a shit about it, just to throw it
I
out
was
there.
literally thinking, I was like, oh my God, is he about to like chop up this whole thing? Because I've just been like laying bombs down.
No, I don't chop
whole
up anything unless you call, unless somebody goes, hey, can you take this part out? Other than that, I don't chop shit.
I would say just be stubborn, you know, just like be like, when people are telling me like, oh, like, I just don't know, like, that's a bit strange. It's like, you know, just literally do wherever your heart is taking you. And there's going to be someone out there who likes it. And also put your shit on social media.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's so true, it's just like, George and I were just like, oh my God, I can't believe we have to do this. This is so embarrassing. And then we did it. And it's just like, no, it's not. Like, it's not embarrassing. Just do it. It's like, you got to get your shit out there.
Bringing it backward.